Today, I'm on the southwest side of Charlotte, getting ready to stake out for an hour or so at the Carolina Place. Why? Well, what if I told you that this place looked amazing in the evening? Come inside and I'll show you what I mean. Carolina Place was planned for the area back in the 1980s, when Belk had purchased land from Ivy's. Construction began, and the mall would eventually open in 1991 with Belk and Dillard's, whom had acquired Ivy's at the time. JCPenney and Sears also flocked for the mall. JCPenney and Belk had closed stores located elsewhere in order to relocate to the Carolina Place. Carolina Place had room for expansion, originally intending on Rich's and Miller and Rhodes. Neither of these stores came, but around 1993, Hecht's did come to the mall. At this time, Carolina Place was the only mall that could boast about having 5 anchors. Carolina Place even secured Incredible Universe and Garden Ridge as outparcels in 1996. Incredible Universe could be described as a consumer electronics superstore, while Garden Ridge would eventually become what is known today as At Home. Incredible Universe was relatively short-lived and would be replaced by a Sam's Club in 1997. Carolina Place did quite well, being viewed as the more sensible alternative to the South Park Mall just a few miles up the road. In 2006, the mall would see Barnes & Noble, REI, and Harper's Restaurant open in 2006. That same year, I am certain we all know what happened to Hecht's by now, as Macy's acquired and rebranded the store. Later, in February 2014, H&M would proceed to open its second Charlotte area store at the Carolina Place. Unfortunately, this mall was not safe from the retail apocalypse, as it's called. Macy's was the first casualty in 2017, with liquidations proceeding through the first quarter of the year. I distinctly remember one article speaking of this particular Macy's selling off items that had apparently come from before the 1970s. If anyone can find this article, do link in the comments below. Macy's closing would be addressed, however, as Dick's Sporting Goods would move in with their Golf Galaxy format. The next big hurdle for the mall comes in the form of Sears, which, surprise surprise, has been seared along with 142 other stores in the chain nationwide. This will be more difficult to fill in, but might give the mall opportunity to reinvent itself in the coming years. Walking through the mall, I am met with an overall pleasant aesthetic to this place. While it could certainly do with a little more color, there are malls that I have been to that are far worse off in terms of aesthetics. I particularly enjoy the one large skylight that follows the main corridor of the mall, alongside the bright, open, and airy food court that we will see in just a few moments. As I've mentioned before, the big challenge for this mall comes in the form of Sears, as well as a handful of inline stores that are currently vacating. This isn't an easy thing to address nowadays, as there is already a variety of different stores of all shapes and sizes throughout the immediate surrounding area, from furniture galleries to grocery stores. And in terms of entertainment, we already have Dave & Buster's, which would limit what potential businesses to go into the mall. Not to mention that Forever 21. Apparently, they've been having financial trouble as of late, with talks of bankruptcy on the way. A general survey of the area also tells me that there is the possibility that Belk and JCPenney might just up and leave at any point in time. JCPenney is having financial issues at the moment, and while Belk is much more stable, they already have quite the presence in Charlotte, with their flagship store just miles away. I get the feeling that Carolina Place might become the area's next dead mall, and I would prefer that things not end up that way. Charlotte is a city that has been quick to get rid of its dead malls. One mall to the west near the airport has been demalled and converted into government offices. Another mall to the far east has been demolished and is currently nothing more than a hole in the ground. Other unnamed malls have long since disappeared, replaced by boring strip malls. Even the shady Tryon Mall, which is still intact, has seeked out a new life as an international marketplace. Currently, only one dead mall stands unaltered, and it has been boarded up, awaiting redevelopment. Okay, down here, there was one kiosk where the two people running it stopped me, not because I had the camera, but because they wanted to demonstrate their shoe cleaning kit. These shoe cleaning kiosks have appeared all over the place, and I suppose on one hand it's not the worst thing, but still a bit of a nuisance being stopped for the product demonstration when you don't have any real interest. I have heard many worse horror stories with other kiosks, particularly among those for perfume and facial care. Not the best environment for mall patrons when the kiosk people are aggressive and pushy like that. Arguably the more lively part of the mall, with JCPenney, Belk, and by now, Dick's Sporting Goods all coming together to make this side of the mall a bit more of a hub. And then there's Dillard's all alone at the other end of the mall with a dead Sears. Once again, this mall is in a bit of an odd predicament. JCPenney could leave at any time, and it is possible that Belk might leave as well. So we'll see what happens in the coming year for this place. Payless, Gymboree, and Charlotte Russe. I am aware that all these stores are long gone by now, and while Charlotte Russe has relaunched, I doubt it'll come back to this mall, if they ever come back to Charlotte. Alright, ready to see why I waited for nightfall? Get a look at the main skylight. I believe the phrase is, "Let there be light." This is why I do the live malls as well. There's always some hidden goodies waiting for you in places like these. And as companies make a drastic shift towards increasing minimalistic white hallways, you'll never know when features like those will just get stripped away. And with that, we're near the end of the tour. I do hope you enjoyed this tour of Carolina Place. I would certainly recommend a visit to this mall if you're ever in the area. Go in the evening so you can see that neon. Anyway, do like and comment. The engagement does help. And share the video if you think others should see this place. And as always, I can be found on Minds, Ko-fi, and as always, until next time, this is Doomie Grunt, wishing you and the Carolina Place farewell and good luck in the coming years.